Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on Election Day, May 8th, 2018 at 1300 in the afternoon Eastern Time, and I just found out that, as I suspected, the movie framing is different than the still photo framing on this new Canon G9X. Not by much, but it's, you know, it can make a difference. Cheers. So I went up and voted this morning after all the school bus nonsense got cleared away. Vote up, go up north on Bale Canyon Road and vote at the Orange Evangelical Friends Church. I don't know. I don't think they're affiliated with any particular denomination. Maybe they are. But that's where I've voted most of the last 30-some years I've been up here. Before I voted at the old township hall that was built back in the 1800s, which was fun. Well, and then at the firehouse, which was also kind of fun. But this is like a big cattle barn, you know. You go in. There were two serious, there were three. Well, two of these poll workers that took my name and scrutinized my driver's license and stared at me were clearly newbies at the job. And that's okay, you got to start somewhere, I guess. They were fairly humorless. Well, what can you say? They were humorless. So I voted. Last night, I was in the north bedroom, and see, I've got the ringer on my phone turned off in the kitchen where I spend most of my time. But I've got the ringer left on in my phone in my office. I have a landline extension that goes in there, and you can hear this going. I mean, this thing was ringing constantly for probably the better part of an hour and a half as I was going to sleep. Well, I was reading while I was going to sleep, as I tend to do. And I thought, it's going to be interesting to see in the morning on the caller ID. Now, I should have probably checked that before I voted. Because my tendency would be to not vote for somebody who phone harassed me the night before the election. But I didn't check. I checked when I got back. They were from a couple people I ended up voting for. I did check the various gun rights sites this morning before I voted to see who they had actually endorsed and whether the various candidates had bothered to even answer their questionnaires. The one guy I'd sort of planned to vote for the 12th U.S. U.S. Congress 12th District in Ohio, he hadn't even bothered to answer the questionnaires. So I thought, well, fuck you then. I think, unfortunately, I ended up having to vote for some of these hateful family values types and hateful anti-immigration types, but they're pro-firearms, so at least so they say. They did bother to answer the questions. I'm a single-issue voter. Yeah. I'm one of those guys. So, yeah, it's always good to vote. You know, people went out there and went to war and fought so that we could die. They died so we can vote. So. Not gonna throw that away. Nope. Not at all. So then I got home by the grace of God, and it's a glorious day, as you can see. I'm not wearing my hat and squinting into the sun, for those of you that don't like me to wear my hat. I got an email today from a woman that was in our prayer group and had gone to our church, but one of her friends, she said her friend that we'd been praying for her for the last 3 years, I think, finally died of breast cancer. Horrible disease. Leaving behind 4 children, the oldest of whom is a senior girl in high school. Just for graduation too, huh? Wow. That's going to be a tough time under any circumstances. I looked at the reading schedule this morning for lay reading, and I thought to myself, there's this one guy that a lot of times he'll call me to fill in for him, which is fine, absolutely fine, because I like to read. And this guy's one of the sweetest guys in the world, but this time of year, he and his wife like to go down to North Carolina. They have a house on the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and they want to go down. They like to go down just before Memorial Day. Sure enough, this guy called. Now, usually he'll call me he'll usually call me like Friday afternoon or something, before Sunday. But he called me this early this afternoon on Tuesday. Could I read for him? I said, sure, I'll be glad to. It's at 10:30. Well, okay, fine. That means I have to put up with the horse shit of the children's sermon. And given that it's Mother's Day, that means I'm going to have to put up with a bunch of horse shit about Mother's Day. Because I know our interim rector has some plans for this. But the good side of it is I get to read with my judge friend. Unless he's going to go off shooting his cannon. Now, he'll be off shooting his cannon on Memorial Day weekend. I know that, but I don't think he'll be off shooting his cannon this weekend. But I hope not. Because it's always fun to read with Henry. Not the Henry across the road, a different Henry. Meanwhile, there was an article in the Daily Telegraph today about train tickets and train ticket pricing in the UK and split ticketing and so forth. And they had a couple of links to ticketing sites. And I thought, well, I need to buy these tickets, so Thomas and I can travel from Manchester Airport to Durham and from Durham to Manchester Airport. I didn't have any idea how I'd get the tickets. I don't know if they had to airmail them to me or email them to me or phone mail me to them or whatever. But worked out. I got a pretty reasonable deal. It was £83 for the round trip. And I don't have to change trains. Or more to the point, I have to leave the car. I don't know. Maybe they change trains. I don't know. Something them around. Excuse me. But they did email me something I could print off. It looks sure like a ticket. The 4 tickets. So we'll see. It's got one of these QRS things on it. You can hold over the little window. So maybe that'll work. Maybe it won't. This guy that asked me to read for him, he's got like I think he's got a couple of kids that are married to people in the UK, and they go over there fairly frequently. So he's driven a lot over there. We got talking about box junctions and roundabouts, and how the hedges will bang on the side of the car and on the side view mirrors and things. So we were having a little bit of fun about that. Well, there it is. Paul hasn't shown up as yet to do his laundry. I don't know if he will or not today or not. So I'm going to say bye-bye YouTube.